What if I told you that after years of one-off tweaks, 2025's foldable scene has finally exploded into a real showdown? Samsung's Galaxy Fold 7 has landed with all the polish you'd expect, but Oppo's stealthy Find N5 has been quietly stealing headlines. Today, we're pitting the two titans head-to-head to find out which deserves a spot in your pocket. There's no single winner, only the right pick for your needs. But before we crown a champion, let's peel back the layers of design, performance, cameras, and more to see which foldable really folds your expectations. Samsung took a scalpel to its Fold line for 2025, shaving the Z Fold 7 down to just 8.9mm when closed and a razor-thin 4.2mm when open. It's also 24 grams lighter than last year's model, now tipping the scales at a mere 215 grams, so it feels almost as svelte as an S25 Ultra. The new ArmorFlex hinge borrows a water-drop slim profile and multi-rail structure that tighten everything up, reducing the crease to a faint whisper. Yet, in pursuit of that razor-thin silhouette, Samsung sacrificed S Pen support entirely. No stylus action on either display. Meanwhile, Oppo's Find N5 goes even further on the slimness scale. Its closed width and wider aspect ratio feel more like a regular phone, slipping into a pocket or palm with zero fuss. Opened out, its 8.12-inch screen just flows under your thumb, feeling surprisingly immersive for its size. Looks matter, but does pocket friendliness win the everyday battle? Flip open the Fold 7, and you're greeted by a gorgeously bright 8-inch AMOLED 2X canvas, 120Hz smoothness, and a staggering 2,600 nit peak. It's bolstered by ultra-thin glass that's 50% thicker than before, and a hidden titanium lattice that keeps scratches at bay. The 6.5-inch cover screen finally adopts a 21:9 ratio that feels like a proper phone. No more fumbling to text or scroll. Oppo's Find N5 matches that polish with a 6.6-inch outside panel and an 8.12-inch inner OLED that peaks at 2,100 nits. You won't spot the brightness gap indoors, and that slightly squarer inner ratio actually makes video and gaming feel more enveloping. Both panels look stunning, but Samsung's sheer peak brightness and reinforced glass give it a slight edge until you consider real-world handling. Bright and beautiful, but what's the software experience like? On the Z Fold 7, Android 16 and One UI 8 dance together in what is arguably the most polished foldable software yet. Multi-window truly feels useful. It's as simple as dragging an app to the side to split the screen, or summoning Galaxy AI widgets that anticipate what you need. Samsung's promise of 7 years of updates isn't just lip service. It future-proofs your investment. Oppo counters with Color OS 15 atop Android 15, which is sleek and surprisingly fold-aware. Features like resizable widgets and a dual-app tray make multitasking a breeze, and its lightweight codebase lets performance fly. You're a generation behind on Android, and Oppo's track record for long-term patches can't match Samsung's. Software can make or break your foldable day, so who takes the edge? Under the hood, both phones share Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite, but Samsung unleashes the full-fat version tuned for its own Galaxy line. That means every CPU core fires up when you need it, paired with 12GB of RAM on the base model and up to 16GB in the 1TB variant. Oppo slightly underclocks the chip to keep thermals in check and preserve battery, but in real-world use, the difference is almost imperceptible. Whether you're swapping dozens of apps in split-screen mode or diving into high FPS gaming, both devices stay buttery smooth. If you absolutely crave raw speed headroom, the Z Fold 7 pulls ahead. But for most people, the Find N5 is just as lively. Speed's great. Now let's see which phone keeps you going all day. Samsung stuck with a 4,400 mAh cell, the same as last year. But efficiency gains from the new chip and leaner software squeeze out slightly better stamina. Still, with a 120Hz main screen and heavy multitasking, you'll likely hit for the charger by evening. And that charger, not included. You're limited to 25 watts wired and 15 watts wireless, hardly blistering by today's standards. Oppo's trump card is a 5,600 mAh silicon carbon battery that sails through a full day of brutal use, often into the next. When you do need a top-up, 80 watts wired and 50 watts wireless charge you from 0 to 80 in minutes. And bonus, the brick comes in the box. When you need juice fast, one of these clearly leaves the other in the dust. Historically, foldables fumbled their cameras, but the Z Fold 7 is finally worthy of Samsung's flagship pedigree. Its 200-megapixel main sensor, borrowed from the S25 Ultra, delivers insane detail, while the 12-megapixel ultra-wide and 10-megapixel telephoto round out a versatile kit. A 10-megapixel cover screen selfie cam captures crisp portraits. Oppo's Find N5 surprises with a 50-megapixel main, 8-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 50-megapixel tele that outperforms many dedicated zoom lenses. Oppo's AI Suite, Eraser Mode, Unblur, Scene Optimizer pushes images even further without over-processing. Samsung wins on raw specs and dynamic range, but Oppo's consistency and software magic make it the more reliable shooter for everyday snaps. Specs versus software magic, whose shots will you actually love? You can pre-order the Galaxy Z Fold 7 everywhere from New York to New Delhi. Carriers are lining up, Samsung stores are stocked, and the S Pen ecosystem DeX support and Galaxy hardware integration are ready to roll. Oppo's Find N5, by contrast, is mostly an Asia region affair. Outside a few markets, you'll need to import and pray for warranty support. Pricing is competitive. Both start near the $1,800 mark, but Samsung's broader deals, trade-in options, and accessory lineup tip the balance for buyers who want all-in support. Even the best phone is useless if you can't buy one, or can't use it properly. So, which foldable wins? If you crave bleeding-edge software, S Pen support, global availability, and camera bragging rights, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is a no-brainer. But if marathon battery life, lightning-fast charging, and a more hand-friendly design top your list, and you're in a market that carries it, Oppo's Find N5 will thrill you. Both phones have their champions, so it all boils down to your priorities. Which foldable will you unfold next? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.